sort of allocate our remaining minutes. Actually, so our next meeting is February 15th, the third Tuesday in February, so it's consistent.
And we'll wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll wish
we will all remember.
If you want to, I'm sorry.
No, what I want to do is, I also want to give a chance to comment. What I'd like to propose is we to move to comments from the public, get through those, and then I think the only other issue really we need to talk about, unless Bishop, you tell me I'm wrong, is that just to talk about what you're suggesting, Mayor Feinstein, is go through the rates and fees.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Thanks, John.
We don't. There's no new business or old business. We have to deal with.
No. And the capital plan summary is just that. It's purely informational.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have no. If we can get right, I guess if we get right at be as prosperous in our coffers as right down, then we could go forward. I'm joking. Can I get comments from the public? Any comments from the public, please?
Please state your name and address.
My name is Dom Servey from Rye Brook. I was here at the November meeting and I asked a couple of questions, and I'm supposed to get an answer from Bishop. The mayor of Rye told him to answer my questions that I asked, so that's why I'm here.
What are the questions?
I don't remember the questions.
This is November.
One of the questions was, I want to know why the workers that are supposed to get laid off after 5 months, that's one of the problems that you're talking about here. Why they're still working. They're supposed to be working only 5 months, and Bishop allows them to work 7 months, 9 months. The guy that works up in the park in Crawford Park is still working.
Well, wait, no, we're talking about Right Town. This is only about Right Town Park.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But they say Crawford Park.
I did.
Okay, but we're only talking about...
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Right
that's
Town.
the next meeting. That's one of the questions I asked. And I never was brought in for an interview. That's another question that I asked. And that's about it.
Okay, well, I don't think, the Commission's not going to comment on you specifically. I don't think everybody that puts in an application is necessarily going to be interviewed. But I can't talk to you specifically at a public meeting as to why you weren't.
Oh, I'm not asking you that, Mr. Supervisor. I'm asking for an answer, which I've been trying to get for like about 1.5 years, and I keep getting the same answers. And I was told here in November that I was supposed to get an answer, and in fact, Mr. Villanova told me to come here to get an answer. Now I'm getting the runaround again.
You want to know specifically why you were not called in for an interview?
Yeah, because it states in your advertisement, and if you would like me to read it, it states over here.
Town Attorney Noto's here. My understanding is we're not going to be able to talk about any single personnel matter here at the Right Town.
I'm not.
The last meeting, Mr. Servey is unhappy. He applied for a part-time job. He was one of many applicants. He was not selected. He is not entitled to answer that question because there is no obligation on the part of the commission of the town to interview every applicant for a job. It is a personnel matter which, as you know, should remain confidential as it is the public meeting. As to his first question about how many months people are working is a legitimate question as a policy matter for which if Bishop wants to answer, he certainly is entitled to an answer. It's a question of how many people are working and how many months. But as far as his particular situation, his application for employment, it is not an issue for public discussion, and candidly, as painful as it may be, he was one of many applicants. He wasn't selected. Others were not selected, and that's just the way it is. And the commission reserves the right to hire who they choose based on their application criteria. So I would answer his first question, 5 months issue. That's certainly a fair question.
I just like to make a statement on what he said.
Well,
I have an answer for you. I don't know if you want me to answer.
You were supposed to give me an answer. That's why I'm here.
Well,
You're supposed to give it to me, but I guess
I don't recall.
No.
you wrote it down on your pad, there, Bishop.
Sorry, hold on. Are you
Yes.
talking about the number of months people work at Crawford
Yes.
Park or Wrighttown Park?
I'm talking about part-time employees that you were speaking about.
Right, at Crawford Park or
And
Wrighttown Park?
that's the reason why you put this system in, and that's the reason why Mr. Villanova sat up there and looked in front of the camera and said, this is how the system works. You work in April and you get laid off in August. But that's not happening. And then he also stated,
But just at Wrighttown Park or Crawford Park?
both.
Okay, let's talk about Wrighttown.
Because I worked in both
Okay,
places,
let's-
and I just want to give you a quick resume.
No, hold on. I want to answer your question.
yeah.
And
Hold on, yeah. I've been holding on for 2 years.
Well, you've gotten the same answer for 2 years.
That's right. And
Anything related to
you've
you
just given me the
individually?
runaround. You're not really answering my question.
Well, anything that deals with you individually, Mr. Servi.
This is not individually. I am a resident, and I'm entitled to an answer.
I think the town attorney was very clear.
Yeah, I know it's clear.
Anything that deals with you individually, Mr. Servi, will not be taken up by this board. In terms of Rydetown Park, Mr. Nowotnik, do any of our employees work more than 4 or 5 months? If so, why? And
Yes.
about how many, and what's the reason for that?
There are a handful of employees, some of them are security guards, some of them are groundskeepers.
I'm talking about maintenance, Bishop. That's what I'm talking about.
Groundskeepers are maintenance.
Okay. Let's make that clear.
If you want to be belligerent, keep
No, I'm
going.
not being belligerent. I just asked you to make it clear.
So, Mr., okay,
Security on this guy?
no, okay, well, okay.
I got the floor, sir, so, when you got the floor, you could speak.
Please,
Sorry.
Mr. Servi.
Yep.
We have 2 categories of employees there. All right, there are seasonal employees. They are the cashiers, the lifeguards. Those are primarily 3 months, 4 months. They work primarily just for the season.
Right.
There are a handful of employees that we have because we have an extended season. We start April 1st with preseason, and we run right now to October 31st. So some security guards work that time period. What is that, 6 or 7 months maybe? We have some maintenance guys that work 6 or 7 months. There may be 1 or 2 guys that work 8 months.
According to this new system,
Mr. Servi.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Servi, that's the answer.
that's not an answer.
Okay, and then, Mr. Servi, I'm afraid your time is up.
Yeah, that's what you tell me all the time. Every time I come to this meeting, I'm sorry, Mr. Server, your time is up, so why don't you sit down?
Oh, actually,
Why don't you be a respectable person once in a while and give me a decent answer, so I won't have to come here
I think.
and waste my time trying to get an answer.
Okay, well, that's fine.
This new system was supposed to be in operation, and that's why all these people are getting overtime, because he allows them to work. I got laid off in 5 months, and I was an employee for 12 years. Why is that? And you're telling me that I don't have a beef? You haven't hired one person that had my experience, that knew anything about the park and knew anything about the beach. 12 years, and I don't even get called in? That's a slap in the face. And I was a good worker. In fact, I broke in 4 or 5 guys that clean the beach right now. In fact, 3 of them rake the beach, and I broke them in. And I don't get hired? I'm not looking for no unemployment. I just wanted to work. That's all. I worked 12 years, and I worked for the town for 43 years. That's 55 years experience.
Bishop.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me what to do either, Bishop.
I'm asking.
Bishop. Mr. Servi, as I told you at the last meeting, the town of Rye and Rydetown Park does not owe you a job.
I didn't say it
And
was.
So you applied next year, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to promise you're going to be interviewed.
Oh, I won't get hired. I know
I'm not
that.
going to promise you're going to be hired. I'm simply saying we're, as you saw, we're looking to reduce the number of expenditures. And you can keep coming every month and doing this.
I will. I'm
You're
very
gonna get the
persistent.
Same. Well, I've noticed that. Okay, but in due respect to the rest of the public, I think
Yeah,
you've
okay.
had your chance. Thank you very much. Any other questions from the public? Comments? Okay, if not, what I want to do then is move on to the discussion of the rates. Mayor Feinstein, want to kick us off?
Well, yes. We had an enormous discussion last year with respect to the revenue side. We obviously implemented changes. The changes that were implemented a little bit late in the season, and that was fine because we had many meetings of dialogue, interfacing with the community, and the rates did get set very late. I personally think that we should, for the most part, keep the rates the way they are. I think that it was an experiment. We do know that the revenue was up, and as stated so correctly this evening, it was not necessarily a function of the fact that the revenue and the line items were increased, but it was also because of the wonderful, beautiful weather of 2010. I think that we should basically hold the line this year, keep the rates the way they are. It's part of marketing. But what I've said before, I would love to see us have some incentives to be able to get the town of Rye residents back into the park, especially during the weekdays.
So do you have the fee schedule?
I do.
Okay, because I think that the town staff endeavored
To make some,
to do just what,
To
I
do
think
that.
pretty much what you described.
right. But I would love to be able, I think we've made so much progress as far as gaining information, who uses the park. I mean, this is what we discussed, I know, when I first came to this, on this board 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And we've really made that progress. And we know the answers to that. And it is alarming in a little bit, the fact that the town of Rye residents really don't use the park when it is, in fact, I want to use the word subsidized by the town and also the city of Rye as well. It's a wonderful oasis, it's a jewel, and what can we do, especially during the weekdays? We have the information. I thank you, Bishop, I thank everyone for providing us with wonderful information and facts as far as the usage of the park. The park, we know, there are certain days of the week it's not used as much, especially as we went into August. What can we do to incentivize our residents to use it? Can we give them a break during the weekday? I think that's where we should go. It's a marketing tool, and
Now, there was a suggestion.
and there were suggestions to do so,
Right.
and I applaud that notion, because I think that's a great thing to do.
Now,
Let's get people back to the park, because once you get them there, they'll like it.
Exactly. No, I think that's right. So now, in terms of the proposal from the staff, resident weekdays, we're taking from we're taking the, well, so $8 parking fee, $7 beach access, which is lower, I think,
Beach
than
access is lowered by $1.
lower by $1. Now, I thought there was
For residents only, by the way.
Right, I understand, and there was, I think that's what Mayor Feinstein talking about, how do we get the residents back? In our Saturday meeting, there was some discussion of maybe even giving residents free beach access at some point in time. Now, I don't know if the staff considered that. Again, tonight's more of a discussion, or for the board members, is this something, Mayor Feinstein, that you'd want to have? Do we want to?
Well, we were, as we had discussed, I think earlier, we were willing to recommend during the week, Monday through Thursday, that there would be free beach access for all permit holders to perhaps incentivize more permit sales. Now, right now, they pay $1, they pay $1, they pay $1 as we go along. The revenue loss there would be relatively small.
$7,300.
Right. Our concern was the personal arbitrage that happens when all of a sudden you say, okay, free beach access for residents. Now, there are a lot of Rye residents that buy permits that go to the beach and can walk to the beach. So you would now have zero revenue and totally free access for those Rye residents, which might be fine. The other residents in the town would have to drive to the beach. They would still have to pay parking.
Well, so let's just, I actually quite like your suggestion where it encourages permit holders.
Right.
Right.
Encourages residents to buy permits.
Right.
And then if we take, and I see, so right now, is this proposal, you have $1 here for beach access, you take that away, make it zero?
That's correct. Well, Monday through Thursday is what we would want to do.
Okay, so Monday to Thursday.
The reality is you could take that all away in terms of your permits. And if a resident buys a permit, they get free beach access and just do parking.
Well, because permit beach access was $7,300,
Right.
so that's everything,
Yeah.
every permit.
Right.
That's a resident,
That's
basically.
correct.
In fact,
Yeah, and that's what Dennis and I, when we sat down with Bishop, and we said, look, come on, we want residents there. They want to go to the beach, let's give them free access, because we're not generating the revenue on that anyway.
Right. And we can control that with the permit, in other words, we're forced to use the permit Now, understand, that would not apply to residents who don't have permits.
Right.
But conceptually, I think that's an easy give, quite frankly.
We want people to buy permits, and
Yes.
when you look at the gold permits, though, the gold single